Hello and welcome, you amazing person. My name is Rob, and I am the Manic Gaming Guy. Today we're playing some more BeamNG.Drive. We're on one of our custom maps that we're making, and today we're going to be playing something new from the update. The map, if you're wondering, is a custom-made UK themed that is based around a lake. It has recently been updated, so jump over to my Patreon and join for free, or feel free to pay and have some fun on this map. It's not yet finished, but it will be one day. We hope. Where are we going? What's happening? In today's video featuring BeamNG and this map that I'm making, we are going to be looking at the Building Architects. Unfortunately, these buildings weren't made in the Building Architect, they're just taken from another map. These things that I've been working on are made from that. You're thinking, what is going on? Yes, exactly, it's a bit of a mess, but that's what happens when you're learning and experimenting with what goes on in BeamNG. This is actually one of the houses that it does produce, but let's go to the beginning and show you how that is done. So, let's get started, shall we? Got myself a little empty spot, and I'm going to push this little button right up here called Building Architect. And let's go bring up this delightful little window. Now, I'm not going to go crazy with the demonstration. I'm going to show you the basics, how to get your own little house going up, and how to style it. And then we're going to have to export it to Blender. Because the same as the Road Architect tool, it just disappears. It's called a session, it disappears. I'm not too sure 100% why. I think it is just a tool just to mark out things, and then you're meant to export it to 3D softwares and then perform a better autopsy over there. Possibly, I don't know. I'm not sure why they can't just bake it or render it into the map or anything like that, or I'd have a third party in Blender which accepts the architect tool, so you can actually just paste it back into the game as a 3D model. Not sure what's going on there, but basically if you made yourself a house and then you try and export it and then drag it back into BeamNG, you get just windows. I'm not sure why. It doesn't come with textures for itself. It does say if you go into the BeamNG website, it's not going to export textures to Blender, which is fine. You know, if you're exporting it there, you're probably going to be doing some crazy stuff with it anyway. It would be nice if it separated the files, so windows were separate, the walls were separate, the roof was separate, rather than being one ginormous object, because then you've got to separate yourself, which you'll see later on in the video. But yeah, this is what you get. But anyway, we'll jump into a bit further ahead. Let's jump back to the start of Building Architect, shall we? Hello, I'm a gnome. Okay, little gnomey, you calm down. We know you're there, it's fine. Right, so you have your shape type, which are these little things here, which you can just click on and then left click and introduce yourself a little building. You can, you know, have this little building. Sure, why not? And then you click on building and you click on one of these. These are our individual buildings. Don't go crazy putting too many of these down. I recommend sticking to just the one for now. Keep yourself calm, laddie. You can save and load your work. It doesn't like you necessarily having lots of them loaded up at the same time. Hence why I wanted to export them and, you know, have them like these sort of buildings you can just drag and drop. So, how do we get to that sort of stage? So yes, you want to be putting down a beautiful building. There's your shape. Lovely. Okay. Now, how do you edit and play with this building? Well, first of all, you can click on building and then click on it. And you do get a list of options. One of the things you may want is a basement, but I recommend doing that right at the end because it does mess with the game a little bit. I've obviously not worked that one out quite yet. Now, material type is going to be what kind of texture you have on the building. I'm not sure. Is it working? Yes, it is. There we go. Beautiful. But when you export it, the material will disappear. So keep that in mind. Maybe one day they'll change it and have it so you can actually have a proper building, but who knows. Scale is going to be the size of the thingamabob, so you can make it go bigger and smaller, and then use Control-C to cancel your marks that you don't want. I'm going to be exporting a tiny house, but for purposes, we're not going to be matter that too bothered for this house, because we're not going to be using this one in the demonstration later on, because I wanted to keep that one very simple, because it's going to be a bit tedious, and then I want to get comfortable with the small ones and then move on to the big ones when I know a bit more of a better routine. Because ideally exporting it, you want it separate, but yeah, like I said, it just comes as one big mesh. Okay. So once you've got your size, you've also got floors, the amount of floors you want. I think it says something about going past 5 will increase some CPU shortageness. So once again, maybe something you can fix by using Blender. I think something to do with the mesh is not optimized or something like that. Which we'll see when we get into Blender. You'll see how many waves is it? I can't recall what the wireframe. You'll see it anyway. Yep. So you got that tool there. So then you can also use the floor tool. So you can click on any floor, and then you can change the height of the floor. So you can have one floor just higher than the other, and then also do that. Do you see thing? You can extrude the whole thing like this. If you're trying to do that sort of stuff, no worries there, not a problem. You can even rotate it if you want some fun shaped buildings. You can also clone a floor, which will just add it onto the top. There you go, off itself. Apparently, you don't get to choose. There should be another option, shouldn't there, to move it up and down. Say you're happy with a certain floor, but you want it in a different place. But hopefully that will all come in the future. Hopefully. So wall means you can select any individual face that you desire. You can also use Control and select multiple faces. It only happens after you started Control, so it's not the first one you click. It starts on the one you actually click, like that. Okay. So yeah, so you can then click those two if you wanted, and then you can make those two. Okay, it hasn't worked the geometries out for that, so ignore that. But I wonder what happens if you do this. It just goes, no, see, yeah, not happy with me doing this, but if I was just to do the one wall, I can say stretch that one out that way. Looks like it had a bit of a conversion. And let's say for purposes for later on, let's say we got this one out, and maybe we want it to be like a carport or something cool. Yeah, so that's that. Nothing really. UV is just the image that you're seeing on the wall. That will just shift that around, up and down and things, and then make it bigger and smaller, depending on what you fancy. And then one of this wall that I use to push this, I haven't actually got the pillar to work just yet, but the corner one's quite good. If maybe it'll work only on building, add corners, not gonna work. You're not happy? I think it's, oh no, click the building, add corners. So that gives you some funky changes of brickwork. You can also go through them on here using up and down. Go to work today? Oh no, because it's changed. No, wrong thing. There should be different options. Maybe it's choose wall, then choose the corners. Floor, choose this. Put them back. There's a way to get options to change this. Why is it not showing up? Side, corners. That's toggle like to view them and stuff, but also to like put them on. I know it's strange, isn't it? But make them disappear. If I go into building, it will make them visible and not visible. Odd. Right, okay. So yeah, you've got your corners. So I'm getting sidetracked. I'm trying to work out how you change. Oh, okay, click on the corner. Makes sense. Which is these corner toggles. And then is it going to let me scroll up and down them? Yeah, it is. But for some reason they chose one half. Fair enough. But we've got some fun ones you can choose. Make the buildings look a bit nicer. I don't know why it shows only 1/2, but that is what it is. Maybe because it's building. Oh, I had it on side, didn't I? So maybe I had the whole thing and then chose that. It would, yeah, there you go. Change all of them. So you can change individual ones depending on what side and stuff you got selected. So fair enough, cool. So let's choose side again. Choose this, and then can we put pillars on? No, can we choose this and put toggle pillars? There's a way to do it. Do I choose this top? Maybe I choose the top. And then... No. No, it's not... Ah, wall. Okay, there's a way to get pillars working. And obviously, I'm not quite... worked that one out yet. I'll do that later for you. You can also get some beautiful balconies. So if we choose this side here... Let's actually do this. Choose the wall, not the whole thing. And we can put some balconies on it. Beautiful. Then you can toggle the size of those if you wanted them to come out a bit more. You also got your spacing down here. Now, you'd have to experiment. It is on the website of how to work these out. But you can put 0 in. You can put 2 in. 2 is basically where it starts. Let's go, if I put 3 in, it will start underneath the 3rd window. And then you've got the space till the next one. I'm not sure how that would work. So is it going to be 5? That'll make it jump a lot. So maybe 4's could put it right next to it. No. So you'd think 2 would put... Oh, I have no idea. Crazy Mass will sort them out anyway. Have fun playing with those. And obviously you can change them not. Stairs, not really got that one to work out yet for myself. But maybe I will do in the future. But quite an easy one to do is the roof. So let's do that. Now, do I choose the floor? I do, and then choose the roof, or do I just choose the roof? Possibly just choose the roof. You got a gable roof, so a flat either side. Lovely. And then obviously we can change the material that's on there with some slates. Looking very fancy, very good, very beautiful, very sweet. And of course you can change the thickness of that roof and then the height per se, and then you know you can make it stick out a bit further, give it some crazy modern look. Very nice. I really don't like these balconies. Let's get rid of those. Let's get rid of them. Thank you very much. Looking groovy. So if you want to add some pillars to your beautiful structure, you can choose the wall option. Choose the wall that you want it to be underneath. Choose the pillars, and there's your beautiful pillars. And obviously you should be able to select them and choose some different styles. And then you can use up and down key to flick through those if you wish. And you can change the space of them if you want more or less. Oh, you can even turn it to a new different brick wall. That's pretty fancy. You can stick them out, stick them in. We'll stick them in a little bit, shall we? Looks quite cool. And then the span is not working apparently. Right, leave you alone. Maybe if you had them less spaced out, that would be a happier day. But you could also choose the floor and then add the pillars in. Obviously, let's go to invert. Because, oh, that's a clever trick. So if you wanted it, say, all the way around 3 edges, but not 1 edge, you can put it originally underneath the wall and then put the pillars in, and it'll actually use this wall as a blanket wall. So if we go back onto this wall here, take these back off, go back to floor, click the pillar again, and we've got it all the way around. Very good, very nice. But we're going to take that off for now, click back to the wall and put them underneath there, just like a cool little carport. And a good idea. Also, the floor's disappeared. It does say in the BeamNG archive stuff that there's no floors at the moment. The roof is the floor. So yeah, there's no floor here. I'm pretty sure there was one earlier on, but maybe I was wrong. But that's a thing. Not too end of the world really. If you were to export this to Blender and wanted to do all the detailing, you could just easily just stretch that across there, or just fill it. Do your stuff. Do your thing. Yeah. So that's that. Now stairs. Yeah, I can't work the stairs out, and it's a bit mental why I can't. didn't know if it's going to be like maybe the stairs that go on the outside of the building, which would be quite cool. If it's stairs on the inside of the building, not sure why that would be a thing. Maybe one day they plan to have animated stuff in it. That'd be quite cool if you can have the doors be able to open and stuff, because it is just a little bit of coding to be able to put on the squares there and have the stuff open. Maybe you'd have to do that in Blender though. Who knows? Right, now on to the next bit. Now you know how to build your beautiful house. You're probably going to want to save it. And then you're probably going to want to turn the game off and come back tomorrow and hope the house is still there. No, your house isn't still going to be there. It seems like the road archive tool, it disappears until you load that session back up. But then you're going to share that with your friends and hope that all the roads are there for them to play. They have to load the roads back up, and you're like, wait, I don't want them to have to load the roads up. You want them just to be able to play the game. So yeah, the next step is so that the buildings can be there forever. As far as I know, this is how it's done. The first step is to export your building. I'm not going to fully export this because I don't want it. It does look quite fun and cool. I will make a building like this one day. Maybe this would be like a cool garage or something. Who knows? I'm rambling on again. But I'm going to start small, like I say, and then improve my skills and then work on bigger stuff as we go along. So, you got your building selected, hit the export button, and then where's is it this? No. Is it you? No. Export button. Sorry, I'm waiting for my little file thing. Where is it? We're on my building. Export. Is it meant to be this? No, it's not. Why has it got my height map showing? Right, I'm confused. Is it hidden somewhere? There should be a file. I'm expecting something to pop up to save it in. You can tell this isn't pre-done. Right, I've got building selected. Right. Building. Selected. Export. Not happy with me. Okay. Basically, I'm not just going to tell you. I don't know why it's not working now. Something stupid's happened. I probably got it popping up somewhere else in a different window or something like stupid like that. Sometimes it's hidden in a corner. Who knows what's going on with it? I'll work it out in a minute. You're going to hit export. It's going to pop up your normal window of all the list of random stuff. Hit on mods. Find unpacked. To imagine your map is unpacked. Find your map name. Go in there. Go into your art folder. Go into your shapes folder. Create a new folder name. Call it like your BeamNG houses or something like that. Give this house a name, like simple house, my house, whatever you want. House number 1. I imagine you're going to make a few, so try and be smart here. Maybe it's a test house, write house test, so you can just delete it later once you've got your things going and you know it's just a rubbish house that you can delete. But yeah, basically export it, save it. It's going to export it as a .cea file, whatever it's called, .dce, something, one of these files. It's going to export it like that as a 3D thing without textures. And then it's ready for you to find to then put into Blender. So let's jump over to Blender with one that I made earlier on. So here we are in the beautiful world of Blender, where we have our one object. Again, just the one. It would be nice if it exported, like I said, individual parts, but it is just a block object. And you can also see this panel here needs flipping round, which is a little bit annoying, but not too hard to do. So, what do you want to do from this point? Yes, I just had a bit of a glitch there. I'm sorry. Well, I would recommend your first step is to split this into individual parts. So you want the roof as a separate part. So you're going to want the brickwork as a separate part. I'm going to separate just the one window and then detail that and then copy and paste it as there's multiple of them. And obviously the door needs to be a separate part as well. So how do you go about doing this? Well, I'm going to show you the one step and then you'll get the idea and we'll tediously jump to the next step or something like that. Maybe some fun editing. Who knows? Hey, who knows? So in the editing mode, you need to... Wait. Oh, okay, I've not got on faces. There we go. you need to select some faces that you reckon is going to be your roof. Now I know they've got these side bits, but these side bits are technically meant to be a different material, so I'm selecting just the top 4 pieces for now. I'm going to push the letter P. If you're using some other 3D program, you know, you get the idea, hopefully, and you know what you're doing. We obviously can't tell you what to do in yours. So now we should have just a roof. There we go. We can rename this now to roof. Bring back the rest, and we can actually make the roof disappear if we want it to. Some reason it does this as well. Gives you multiple pieces. We don't technically, I'm pretty sure we don't need these, so they can just go. Delete the faces. Is that right? They're all deleted now. Yes, maybe they did that so it was joined. I have no idea. Yeah, technically there will be a bit of a gap now, but I'm not really too fussed about that. We're ignoring that for now. Right, so it'll probably work top to bottom. So I'm going to select this outer edge now. Outer edge is selected. Just go around making sure I have got all the pieces necessarily. And we should be able to push P, and then we'll have just the border. I'm not really sure what this thing's called. Roof base. That'll do. There we go. And then we can make that disappear. And then we've got a house without a roof. There we go. So you're starting to get the point now. But obviously these aren't correct. This one here in particular. So if I select that and rotate it. Oh my days. Control Z. Why did it do that? Normally I can select just that and spin that. Okay, and maybe because I had it separated last time. Maybe, yes, maybe that's why. I know what I'm doing. I do, honest. Yeah, how do you, I think I'll have to separate that, spin it, and then join it back on. Actually, I'm going to skip doing that because I'm going to use some multipliers anyway, I think, just to give the building some more 3D shape and texture and stuff. Hopefully that will make it a face all round rather than just on the one side. That should fix the problem. If it don't, we'll fix it later on. Right, so got all my walls now selected, so we can push P and separate that. And then that should be the windows gone, and we'll just have some walls with holes in. We still got that problem, but don't worry, we are going to fix it. So now let's rename that to walls. Oh, lovely. And now one of the reasons I like doing it this way is we now get rid of the walls, the base and the roof. We are left with barely minimal. So let's get rid of the floors. And then we're left with just all the windows. We can just work with one of them and delete the rest. Oh, we need to separate the doors as well, don't we? So now all I have is one window, one door, a building with lots of holes in. But I can turn it all off now, which is nice. And then we can add materials to each one of these. Let's see what that looks like. After we've copied and pasted this window throughout all of these holes. We can even make new holes if we want and change the window style. Look how much effort you've got and how much time. Actually, scrap that. What am I on about? I want to give it all textures first and then copy and paste. Otherwise, I'm giving it all textures and stuff. And that's not clever. Would tarmac windows be good? Almost there. Just got to do the door now. So, where's the door? There it is. I'd like to just see the door on its own. Get up close and personal. No. Yeah, so I do have a door image, but I think I might have to separate these, you know, and give that stone texture the same texture as the windows. Let me do that. There we go. Got them separated now. Can we get this door to look pretty awesome? I know I got a picture of the door. Let's see what happens. Make sure we actually got the right thing selected. Yeah, there's the door. Yeah, and Q projection this. And then we want to give it a new image. Like so, and open up my imagery ruse, and then go into here, copy this address, go into here. Copy, paste the address into here. That sends us into the main folder with all the imagery in us. And there's a door. Let's try and open this and see if we can get it to look good. Okay, is that it? Is it not essential? No, it's not essential. So let's go to UV mapping this. Scroll out. Select all. And then let's stretch this to size. Let's put you on the right. Formatting this. Look at the right bit of you. See what you look like as you come across. And then we want to size, but we don't need to make it even. We just need to plop this into place. So we've got the height there. We haven't. Let's get the height first. Move it into place. So it's about the height. That's about center. Just got to squeeze it back in a little bit. Something like that. That should look good. That should look good. So let's see what the final outcome is of all this, shall we? Yeah, that's quite groovy, that door. Even though it's got like a weird handle there. But we'll ignore the fact there's a brown handle sticking out of the door. Please. Let's have a quick look at it all together before we copy and paste the windows around. I'm not sure how to make glass in Blender. If you know how to make glass in Blender that exports into BeamNG, please let me know in the comments. But apart from that, it's not looking too shabby. Obviously, you would normally want to... Is that cartoon bricks? Yeah, probably shouldn't use cartoon bricks. But anyway, you probably want to do your spec alert, imageryness, and also your norms. You can do that in BeamNG. I can't remember how to do it right this second, but it's something I will do. I have to go into the textures, go into GIMP, make the spec norms and all that sort of stuff. Then you've got to go into your geometry nodes and stuff like that and set it all up so you've got your stuff working. But it does help. It makes it look more pretty in the game when you render it and stuff. But anyway, let me go around with these windows. I'm just going to simply copy a window and then paste a window and then move a window until it looks nice, and do the same with the glass. Put them all in, maybe switch it up, make some nicer arrangements. We can also, there's no harm in going back into like edit mode, put some lines across, delete some stuff, make some bigger windows, do what we want, anything we want. So back with you in a second when I put some more windows in. It's actually not looking too bad. I couldn't build a house better myself, to tell you the truth. This is quite a good base ground to work from. It does take a little bit of time. But imagine if you got used to doing it, you know, put your modifiers on as well, making it fatter so it's got some extra girth to it rather than just some flat plane. And yeah, it's not looking too shabby. Right, I think that should do for now. Let's try and make sure we name all our materials and go to the UV editing image, save the imageness and pack it and hope that we can export it properly. This is the fun bit where we normally mess up. Let's give it a go, shall we? And there's our house. Okay, so some materials didn't work and some did. Not quite sure what I did wrong, but sure we can resolve it, and then we'll have a house which we can then just keep dragging in, have two of them, have them next to each other. That looks nice. There we go. And then we can get the road, nice roads lined up next to it. What the? Don't know what's going on with the shade in here. Some things maybe could be fixed, but you get the idea, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to make this house look a bit more pretty now and show you the outcome. Woohoo! I managed to fix the windows, so that's not too bad of a shout. Just got to fix this stuff. What's it? I never made this fatter. I need to make that fatter so it looks more realistic rather than just one single plane. But we're getting there. We're almost making some house with the building architect, which actually seems more like a way just to give you a 3D model for a house. Using Blender, but in a very uncomfortable way. But still, I think it's not too bad. You can get some fun looking shapes, as long as you're willing to put the effort in to finalize them. But maybe an update will come along with the road one that makes these tools more useful. Please. Okay. It's not gonna lie, it's the next day, but to you it's been seconds, and we've had some good progress. I thought I'd try and make the building look a bit more beautiful. I've got rid of the brickwork, as you can see, and I've done the base. Oh, wait a minute. We're not looking at the right building, are we? And also, I've stunned myself. I've managed to make glass. Look, you can see through the windows and it reflects the sky. Admittedly, the reflection looks like better clouds than BeamNG clouds, but look at that. We'll have to do it one day. Change the skybox so we've got some really beautiful clouds. But yeah, look at that. Cool. Obviously the Spectre and the normals still need to be doing to make the building look more 3D and depth rather than crazy stonework. And I think we need to do some detailing around, like some fence and bushes and stuff. And yeah, maybe put a road down or something and see what it really looks like when it's looking detailed. Well, 1, 2, 4, oh my days, I've lost myself. Where are we? Here we are. Yeah, I went a bit crazy, but it looks cool. I like it. I've got a working chimney. Hey, bit of fun. Quite a lot of smoke. Maybe could turn that down, but for now, I like it. It's cool. Put some curves in, a little bit of road textures, give it a bit of scenery, make it look a bit cool, make a house fit in and feel natural. I like the fact we've got working windows. Not too sure yet how to change the strength of the looky throughness, but I'm pretty happy that we can look through it and it looks like glass and it reflects. So that's pretty amazing. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited to make more houses. Try and see what other features they got. I had to use some random 3D objects to make a chimney, which is, you know, creative. Is what it is. From a distance, wouldn't know, I guess. You've only probably just noticed because I told you. But yeah, I like it. I'm happy. What do you guys reckon? Is this a tool that you'll be using on the regular? Or do you think it's a bit of a waste of time? It really reminds me of the game I've been playing recently, Foundation, which the buildings in that you build in a modular style. It definitely works a lot quicker and a lot more faster, and the buildings are still there when you load the game back up, which is quite nice. There are a few things I'd fix, like making it so the buildings get exported in pieces rather than one big lump. That would be quite useful. Make it so the buildings can be exported with their file textures. Okay. So that it can be just, you know, placed anywhere in the map or duplicated. That'd be quite nice. Some extra buttons in the tool, like be able to flip the building reverse. Maybe like a way you can render it down and then do some alterations to it afterwards. I don't know. Some more features like proper window ledges would be quite cool. Maybe some fertilizations and grass and stuff. Not grass, vines growing up the buildings. That'd be quite nice. Maybe some porchways. But apart from that, yeah, I'm not too fussed. It saved me a lot of time if I was to try and build this house in Blender from scratch. That'd be quite a pain. So glad they have done something for us there. The curbs, I tried using the road architect tool and then tried exporting the curbs. Didn't work. So I just used the mesh tool in the end. I think they did the trick. I think they're alright for curbs in the game. You know, I think they're okay. So yeah, there we go. That's us building the house and showing you how to use the new build it yourself house architect tool. My rating is not high, but it's not as low as the road tool. This could be better. but maybe it's something to come in the future. Maybe we've got some big plans. I'm happy to add in tools like this. It just make life a bit easier, I guess. But they just need some tweaks, just tweaks here and there. Do feel free to like and subscribe this video if it's been very helpful. And hopefully, I'll see you in another one very shortly. Keep it real, stay safe, and share love. Bye-bye.